Alright y'all, welcome to Shot for Thought. This is our first video. Today we're going over different kind of builds on Glocks. We'll have your normal stock Glock all the way up to your compensated Glocks, and then your ported slides and barrels on your Glocks.
So first off, we're starting off with a Shadow Systems MR920 Ameriglow H3 sights. That's about it for this gun. Next, we're going to go with a Gen 5 lower with a Safari ported slide and barrel for this one. Very nice gun. Then after that, we're going to go to a Gen 3 Glock with a Holosun 508T on top, TLR1, and a Radium Ramjet barrel and comp. Alright, first off guys, we're going to be starting off with a Shadow Systems MR920 Ameriglow H3 sights. It's basically stock. Well, as magwell, lightning cuts, it's about it. We're going to be going over the recoil management, we're going to be going over accuracy, and also going to go how it feels in our hands, how we like it, if we like shooting it, if we don't. But saying that, let's get started. Based off that, recoil is pretty manageable. The accuracy is great. I mean, we're at 10 yards, hit all 5. That's about it. So next up, we're going with a Gen 5 lower with a Safari Precision upper, ported barrel, and slide. We're gonna go over this, recoil management and all that good stuff. Recoil's nice, pretty light, not as light as the Shadow Systems, but given it is a little heavier and the ported barrel, definitely more manageable. Alright, for our last gun today we're reviewing, we have a TLR1 Streamlight. We have a 508T Holosun on top, a beautiful Ramjet slide or barrel, and compensator. We're going to be going over recoil and accuracy on this. As you see there is a Gen 3 slide. It's very accurate. Radiant makes some good barrels, good comp. The recoil is great. The grip was a little bit longer, it would be a little more manageable. Definitely a lot heavier than your Shadow Systems or your Gen 5. Your Shadow System's definitely going to be a lot lighter. If you wanted to carry something, this would be a lot heavier. So good belt, good pair of jeans, whatever you wear, it'd be great. Alright guys, now it's my turn to review them. First off, I have the MR920 by Shadow Systems. I'm going to put a few down range, see how I feel about the pistol, and I'll give you guys my feedback on it. Feels good in hand. That flared magwell really gives you some extra room on that third finger. Light, recoil management's pretty good. The night sights, you can find them pretty easy with when you come up to put it on target. We'll move on from there. Alright, next up, we got the Safari Land ported barrel and slide on a stock Gen 5 frame. We're going to run this, and I'll tell you how I feel about it. Pretty light, that slide. It's lighter than the Shadow Systems. The frame's a little heavy, but it's pretty dead in the hand. It's got a red night sight on it, which when you shoot down range, you can find it pretty quick. All around looks, give it about an 8, because it ain't my gun. We'll move on to the next one. All right, next up, last but not least, is my everyday carry. It's a Gen 3 Glock, Shadow System slide, Radium Ramjet, barrel, and comp. 508T. I'm pretty used to it, but I'm not the best shooter, so my opinion is going to be a little biased. But we'll put some
bullets downrange, and I'll give you my honest review on it. It's a lot heavier than most of the other guns, probably because the excess stuff we have on there, the flashlight, the sight, the comp. But other than that, it's pretty dead in the hand. The one complaint I do have on it, I wish the bottom had a flare mag wheel so I had some more room because I got some fat hands. But other than that, it's pretty solid.
All right, guys, now we're gonna be doing an accuracy test on the Shadow Systems MR920 with the H3 Ameriglow sights. Let's see what happens. All right, follow up here with me. We're gonna mark our target, see where our heads went. We're gonna shoot all 5 guns. Looks like we had 6 in there. We're supposed to shoot 5. Hit, 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 hit. That's out. Circle it. That was 6 though. All right, now we'll be testing the other guns. Next, we're going to be shooting the Gen 5 lower with the Safari ported barrel and slide next. We're going to be shooting this for accuracy and seeing what our results are. All right, if you give me a second here, gotta grab my pen. Now we'll walk up to the target and see how she prints. Now let's see, our new holes, that was a much tighter group out of the Safari barrel. It is a precision barrel, so it's definitely manufactured a lot better. We have hit here, 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 and here. It's a little bit low. That could be the sights from the factory. We haven't adjusted them at all, but really tight group compared to the Shadow Systems NR920. All right, next we'll be going over the Gen 3 Glock. It's got a TLR1 Streamlight, a Shadow System slide, radium ramjet, compensator, and barrel with a Hollow Sun 508T on top of it. Walk with me, we'll see how she printed. Find our holes here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We do have one outside of the target. The red dot may not be sighted in, or I could have pulled it. It's either one. Group is kind of there. It's an alright group. They are a little high. I will say I probably pulled that one. They are in the same spot. Was aiming center mass, so fairly accurate.
All right, guys, we got the Shadow Systems MR920. We'll group them, see where I get with them. Not the best shot, we'll send her. All right, follow me down here. We'll try to find my hole.
I'm gonna jump in here, give me this pin here. So we have a new hole here, a new hole here, and looking around, see if we have any more holes on this target. We have a hole here and a hole here, so that's a total of 1, 2, 3. We have a hole here. He got 5 rounds on target. He was aiming for the head. So
definitely did not hit the head.
Did not hit the head. He doesn't shoot as much. He's a new shooter to pistols, at least. That's with the MR920. So we're going to see what actually happens when he shoots the other guns, if they're more able to shoot for a new shooter. So you may want to spend more money on these competition style guns that's a little more Gucci'd out, you know, to see if you can get more accuracy easier so you can learn how to shoot faster.
All right, next up we got the Gen 5 Glock with the Safari, precision, ported barrel, and slide. Now if you come down here with me, we'll try to find these holes. Hopefully these holes are better. All right, we got one hole here, another right there, and right there at the top. They're pretty much all in the circle.
And with you shooting center mass here, Ben, you get a hole here, a new hole here, and a new hole here. So we have hole 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Was you shooting center mass there?
Shooting center mass there, and with it getting dark, that front sight doesn't glow or light up, so it's kind of hard to find on target again. But primarily if you're in a situation where you need to pull your gun, all those would be pretty decent because you can still get away from the danger. Last but not least, we have the Glock Gen 3 with the Shadow Systems upper and the Radian Ramjet ported barrel and slide, and a 508T sight. All right, we'll come down here and see these holes. Majority of the holes, I aimed for the head this time, were kind of high and right. And one probably squeaked out of the box because there's only 4 holes. Or no, there's 5 holes. We got 5 holes.
We have a pretty decent 3-round group right here at the head. The side is a little bit off from whenever I shot it even. So this isn't on him. The side's off a little bit, probably pulled this one right here. I would say this one's in generally probably the grouping of the gun. The dot is what, 3 MOA?
Yeah.
For the hollow sun. So at 10 yards sighted in, I mean, it should be a little tighter than that, but that's what our results are.
Not bad. I'm more comfortable with that gun anyway between those 3. So it took from going from a red dot back to an iron sight. When you're more comfortable with a red dot, there could be a little challenge.
And when you learn to shoot a red dot, it could be easier than shooting irons. Irons, you have to line up a 3 dot, or you have to line up just black sights, whatever it is. The red dot, you point and shoot. Wherever your dot's at, that's where your bullet's going. All right, guys, we're gonna be going over the conclusion of our recoil, our accuracy tests, and how overall it feels to us. So I will say, I'm a little biased. This is my pistol, the Shadow Systems MR920. So first off, it shot well, feels great in the hands. It's basically a stock Glock. Only thing different is the H3 sights, the lightning cuts on the slide, different barrel. It is spiraled, and the stippling grip and the extended mag well is about the only differences on this pistol. It shot well. It has a really good feel to it. The grouping was not as great, but they are stock sights from the Shadow Systems. So that's about it for this pistol. It did feel really great. It feels really great in the hand, especially with bigger hands. That magwell helps a lot. But you can always get an extended magwell for any Glock that you have. So if you feel like doing that, we'll go ahead and do it for a Glock 19. So these are all Glock 19 variants. Next up, we have the Gen 5 lower with the Safari Precision ported barrel and ported slide. It is lightning cut. It does have a optics plate. It does not have night sights, but it does have really nice target sights, blacked out rear with a red fiber optic front. It's a little heavier than the Shadow Systems is, but I will say it did shoot the best. It did have the best grouping. Recoil management wise, it was really good. It definitely beat out the Shadow Systems for sure on recoil management. If it had a flared magwell, the recoil definitely would have been a little bit better for me, at least. If you got smaller hands, this gun would be absolutely perfect for you. Recoil mitigation is great. It's a great all-around gun. Our groups were a lot tighter with this gun over this. Next up, we have the Gen 3 that Ben actually built. It has a TLR1 Streamlight on it, a 508T hollow sun on top of it. It has the Shadow Systems Gen 3 slide with a Radium ramjet barrel and a Radium ramjet compensator. Now, this gun, it does have a lot of good features to it. I will say he did build this thing out right. So, the great thing about it, it almost has no recoil, but what you trade off in is weight. This gun is heavy, really heavy. The Radium ramjet barrel and compensator add to it. The slide adds to it. The sight adds to it. The flashlight definitely adds to it. This gun's grip is really short compared even to the Gen 5. It's even shorter than the Gen 5. Which I said already, these are Glock 19 variants. And this is how you can build them out. So you can figure out which one you want, how you want to build it out, however you want. The recoil management was really great. They say about 40% recoil management on these. I'm not sure on this Safari, but 40% better recoil management on these ramjets. It did shoot really well. We did get a decent group out of it, but I will say stock Glock trigger, it's all right. The sight was a little bit off, so we had a little bit of trouble there, but Safari did print a lot tighter in its group. And really, that's about all. We've went over all these guns. It feels really great in the hand. If you got smaller hands, it's definitely great. If you got bigger hands, grab a Glock 17. We're in the state of Illinois, so we can't have anything over a 15-round magazine. So, if it's available to you, if you like Glock 19s, it's whatever you like. Picking one out of this group, I would definitely try to go with the Gen 5 if you really want to do something with it. There's tons of aftermarket for it. You can replace everything on this gun. I mean, you can do slide, you can do optics, you can stipple this yourself, you can get stipple tape, you can put a Timney trigger in here. You can do everything you want. Shadow Systems a little bit more harder to modify just because they are mostly based on a Gen 4 frame. Gen 1 through 3, you have a lot of aftermarket. Gen 5, you have a ton of aftermarket. Gen 4, there's not as much aftermarket, so you got to watch that when you buy a Shadow Systems. Other than that, these are the pistols we reviewed. You already seen the groupings. You already seen how we thought about how they feel, how they shoot. They're really all great pistols. That's all I got to say about them.
Alright guys, I'll be giving you my review on the pistols and what I thought about them. The Shadow Systems, for me, if you have bigger hands, it'd probably be the weapon for you. All around, it's got a bigger, what is that, beaver tail?
Mm-hmm.
It's got a bigger beaver tail on it, so it gets more underneath, so you have more control of it. I really like the night sights on them. I think they're really great. Instead of a stock Glock, they don't really come with any night sights. They usually have the white dots. In hand, while shooting, it feels best to me because of the full, but it's almost like a full frame, frame. But the grip is, I really don't have any complaints about it. I used to have one. The only reason why I got rid of it is because I bought this slide. The slide did not fit on this. The slide was for Gen 3s only, and I made the mistake of thinking it would fit a Gen 4, which it wouldn't. Next, we have the Gen 5 with the Safari Precision ported barrel and slide. If anything, I take from this gun, it shoots pretty dead in the hand. It's definitely got the lightest slide out of all three of them. It has the tighter groups, and the frame, if you had medium-sized hands, big hands, even small hands, they'll fit for you pretty much anywhere. If it had a magwell, a flared magwell, it'd be mine. I'm just personally like flared magwells. I like how it comes with optic ready. You can throw anything on there. The ported barrel definitely is good. I've always been a comp guy, and it makes me think that I should end up getting a ported barrel for my next firearm. But it's pretty solid, pretty solid. Definitely changed my opinions on ported slides and barrels. Next up, we have my everyday carry, which is the Glock Gen 3. I pretty much built this thing out because I wanted to build a Glock. Most people build ARs and stuff, but in Illinois, you can't get an AR unless you already have one. And I didn't jump on that quite early enough, so I just built a Glock. I've dumped quite a bit of money in it, did it right, have the Radian ramjet barrel and compensator, the 508T. I ended up having a 507, but I like the way the 508s look on the Glock, so I ended up going with that. The Streamlight, it's pretty good for being like the first gen Streamlight, the TLR1. And I ended up buying this frame because it wouldn't fit Gen 4. And if I only thing I come away with after this is probably end up getting a flared magwell. But in hand, with the weight from the flashlight and the compensator, releasing the gases up and keeping that muzzle flip down, it's definitely the most, like, the flattest shooting ones out of all three. If the sight was on, it'd probably have a better gripping, but you bounce around a sight in a car, toss it around, it's going to come off. It's not going to be completely zero unless you keep it dead still or do it right. And out of all three of them, the one that probably beats it out would probably have to be the Shadow Systems, in my opinion, for it just being a more comfortable pistol. And the more attributes on it too. I mean, the flared magwell, the bigger mag release, that definitely helps in situations where you're trying to shoot drills. You can find that mag release without having to pull your thumb all the way across. And if anything, I think it's got a different trigger than the stock Glock, so that helps a lot too. And it's just, I like them. But that is my opinion on these Glocks. And that'll do it for today's episode.
Alright, y'all, so this is our first video on Shot for Thought. Let us know what you think about it down in the comments. I mean, if you want to like and subscribe, that would be awesome. We're starting out, GunTube channel. We're just going to see where this goes. We're not here to make money. I mean, it'd be great if we could get sponsors, something like that eventually down the road. But we just want to review these guns for you guys. I mean, if you want to build something like this, awesome. Let us know. We'll let you know everything about these builds. How we built them, what parts we used. I mean, everything like that. So, if you like how this went, let us know if you want this longer. Let us know if you want these videos shorter. But at the end, I'm Wade. This is
Ben.
And this is Shot for Thought. Let us know what you think.